Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Becoming the 1% podcast. My guest today is Evan Gubera. He is a professional boxer. He is the inventor of the monkey feet. The company is Animalhouse Fit, a very, very, very unique product that fits a very specific role in the world of strength and conditioning. This is a very, very cool episode. Enjoy it. So I like to start each one of the episodes by kind of handing it off to the guest. I want to hear about you. I want to hear about Animalhouse Fitness, your time in the MMA, or excuse me, your time in professional fighting, including your time in the MMA. Yeah. But please, kind of the floor is yours. Tell us where it all began.
Sick, man. I've always been terrible at introductions, even like in grade school. And they're like, tell us 3 things that you like and tell us, your favorite color. Terrible at it. But my name's Evan Gubera. Yeah. I co-founded Animalhouse Fitness with one of my buddies. My uncle actually introduced me to him, and I needed an engineer to kind of engineer this idea. And man, throughout building this company with him, we become like such great friends. Yeah. And throughout this whole time, I've been fighting at a professional level, and it's been hard, man. Running a corporation and being a professional athlete is quite difficult.
Which one came first?
The fighting.
The fighting came first. When did you start doing that?
All right, so I was 4 years old, and my mom.
4?
Yeah. My mom. She gave me an ultimatum. She said, you can either sign up for ballet or you can sign up for kickboxing. And I chose the latter. I'm like, let's do this kickboxing.
4? That's good.
Yeah. So
seems like a lot of kids today might choose ballet.
No shit. Yeah. Hey, seriously, man. It's kind of crazy how life goes. That first kickboxing instructor that I had, later on in life, I had this coach named Pops. He became kind of like a father to me, and he actually trained my first kickboxing coach. So it was like full circle. It was a trip.
That's cool. Yeah. Awesome. So was kickboxing the very first tenet of fighting that you got into? Like even at a young age, was kickboxing? That was your introduction?
Yeah. Kickboxing, Taekwondo.
We've been able to ask this question to some pretty significant fighters through the podcast, but I wanted to get your opinion on it. If I had, say, like for young kids, age 4 to 12, what would you say is the best tenet of fighting to start them off with? Is it Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Is it kickboxing? I mean, what would you, if you could create your perfect young fighter, what would you start them off with?
All right, this is going to sound crazy, but I would say it's based on the personality. I think that the kids that are more on the aggressive side should do some sort of like karate where the instructors are more stern and teaching them not to go out and use that stuff. The more relaxed and shy kids, I would say jiu-jitsu, because it usually gets them out of their shell and it's really good for self-defense.
And which would you say you were as a younger person?
I was definitely more on the shy side, but I always took care of myself. You know what I mean? I didn't let anybody like pick on me.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I got suspended for the first time for fighting when I was like in 2nd grade or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got into it at school. We all did. I mean, I myself as well. I never got suspended, but there was fighting.
Yeah.
What was, your instructors at a young age, did they know that this happened? I assume you fought all throughout high school. Did you continue this from 4 all the way until you were a professional? Did you ever stop?
All right, we might dive into the weeds here a little bit, but
please.
Yeah.
I live in the weeds.
Yeah. So I did stop to pursue football, and then that was going great until I turned about 14, 15, and then I just started getting into trouble. Like, I stopped going to school for the most part when I was like 14 years old. I really only have like a freshman year in high school.
Really?
I swear.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so how in the world? How did that come to pass? I mean, okay, so you stopped going to school. You got into some bad habits.
Yeah, definitely bad habits. I'd say the influences around me a little bit. I had a stepdad who he was addicted to methamphetamine.
Ah, that'll do it.
Yeah. And before he left when I was 14, and basically was like, hey man, you got to step it up, and pretty much told me I got to start selling weed. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was a crazy time. And at that same time, my sister was dating like one of the biggest drug dealers in my city. So it was just like all the influences around me were kind of in that direction.
The stage was set for calamity.
Yeah, man. But I've always been a good, like when I was young, I was a good kid. It's just I definitely did
bad circumstances.
Yeah.
Okay, so fast forward. So let's skip out of high school. Did you, with only a freshman in high school level education, did you consider college? Did you just entirely just do something? Did you go right into business? How did that happen?
I've always been about the business. I actually kind of paid for a high school diploma. So I got kicked out of my whole school district. Right? I couldn't go to any school in my whole district.
And where was this again?
The Bay Area.
The Bay, okay.
Yeah, in California.
Whoa, you got to do some shit to get kicked out of the Bay Area, man. They're like way liberal out there.
Yeah, man. I was definitely in it to win it.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, they kicked me out of the school district, and my mom found this program that would just send packets. And like I said, I not only was I like, drugged at the time, but I was also working regular jobs. And I just paid my best friend's girlfriend to do all the work. So they didn't even
schoolwork,
they didn't even know my handwriting or anything, but I paid for like 3 years of high school. This girl did it for like a year and a half, and I got a diploma that way. It was crazy. I never did one little thing.
So when you say you have a high school, you're saying you basically did 1 year of full high school yourself. The other 3 were by this person. Okay,
that's like most people too.
It's true. I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. None of us did 100. Well, maybe some of us did, but most of us didn't do 100% of the work that it took to get our degrees, or however far we did end up going. Yeah, it's honestly, it's really hard sometimes to judge. First off, it's a terrible way to judge intelligence in any way, how you end up scoring on your schooling. Because there are plenty of people out there that did not excel in an academic community who end up going on to do incredible things. And so it's a hard way to base, what the way I see it, it's a way to gauge if they can see if you can finish something. Yeah. That's the way that I think modern academics looks at a high school and a college degree. It's like, okay, we just want to know that you can put up with shit and move past it.
Yeah.
But I mean, our father didn't go to college. The world is run by CEOs that did not get higher level degrees.
Seriously.
They end up hiring people that ended up getting higher level degrees.
Seriously.
So other than selling weed, what was your actual first... Because there's jobs and there's careers. When would you say you entered a career?
Wow. Career. I want to say my first actual career decision was the professional fighting thing. I've always been smart. I've been great interviewing for jobs. I don't think I've ever interviewed for a job and not got the job.
Wow.
Like, yeah. I'm very well spoken. I know what to say in certain situations. But I've had buddies try to get into the electricians union over there in San Jose for like years, right? Like they'll be trying. I got into the electricians union over there, and I think it was 2 months. Like I tested in, interviewed in, and like they were saying is like one of the fastest somebody's ever gotten into the union.
Wow. The
first day I was going to start, they called me, but I had just got onto the pro team at AKA. And you guys are familiar with the AKA gym, right?
We're not. No.
Cool.
What is it?
American Kickboxing Academy is in San Jose. It's where Cain Velasquez trained, Luke Rockhold, Daniel Cormier, Habib.
No kidding.
Swear.
That's awesome, man.
All the biggest names, and you pretty much have to try out just to get on this team. Like to be on the pro team over there is huge. Like,
sure.
And I got this opportunity, and basically the pros, they train in the morning. So I wouldn't be able to do this electrician job and chase my dreams. And that's like the first intersection where I was like, this is a real career, not just a regular job, that I can go do this, but will I be happy? And I was like, no, I'm gonna chase my dreams, man. So I told him to fuck off. Can I say that? Can I cuss on this podcast?
Say whatever you want.
Yeah, cool.
That's crazy. Oh wow, because that's a big. You're right. That's a schism between two possible careers, and both. I mean, and one of which is certainly much more attainable. It's a lot easier to be an electrician than it would be to be a professional fighter.
True.
I mean, that's a big decision, big risk. So you made the decision. What happened next?
I started training under this coach, Walter Carvalho. Rest in peace, man. He
did he pass?
He passed
When
away.
did he go?
2017.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was hard, man, because he really did become like a father figure to me. I started driving him to the gym. He was older already. He was like 81 when I met him. And he really took me under his wing. He started teaching me about everything, and he even not only was coaching the pros over there at AKA, but he started coaching an amateur boxing team at Koa Fitness in Newark.
Yeah.
And he let me be his assistant coach over there because I wasn't making any money fighting at the time. I was fighting as an amateur.
Sure.
And I really took to that. And when he passed, I took over the program fully and became amateur boxing coach over there. And man, I would always tell the kids the same thing that I did. I was like, listen, you're young, chase your dreams, because I mean, you can go be an electrician when you're like in your 40s. It doesn't matter. Like if you're young, chase your dreams and don't even listen to your parents. I would tell them that. Like when their parents were around, like not in a bad way, but like if your parents.
There's a lot of truth to that though, because your parents want your parents usually want the best outcome for you. And to a parent, I mean, I'm sure it was. Are you a parent yet? Father, dad, nothing like that?
Not yet, but I got the fever, man.
Us neither, man. We got nephews, and I would love it. Yeah. But the truth is, I mean, your parents, they're older, they're calculating, they're looking at you, they're like, okay, hey man, you got a real opportunity here. You could be an electrician. You could be making $100,000 within a year. Like there's a real need for that right now. Go do that. You be a fighter, you're not going to pay anything. Even if you make it, the odds of you getting to a place where you can be comfortable and make a good living is just really, really hard. So as a parent, and for the parents of wannabe professional athletes of any kind, you're going to have your level of doubt with that as a parent. And I think you're right, though. I think it's really hard, but I think it's important that sometimes you can't listen to any of the naysayers, including your parents.
Seriously.
I had some of that for us. I mean, when I first got started, when I wanted to do this the way I wanted to do it, there was a lot of people were like, well, okay, yeah, that's fine. You can start in your house, but you got to get out. You can't stay there. You can't this isn't going to work how you see it's going to work. And it's sometimes, because a lot of times those voices are right. And a lot of times the people ahead of you, they know the truth. And if you ignore them, you're foolish. But sometimes, like you said, you gotta tell them like, hey man, nah, I'm gonna do this my way. I have to. I gotta chase this dream. Yeah. So because this keeps kind of coming up in conversation, I want to ask, you've mentioned now a couple people that were really important, pivotal father figures for you.
Yeah.
Going through what you've been through in your journey thus far, and now as a coach for some of these younger, startup young men and everything, how important do you see the role of a father figure, just in general? I mean,
man, if you look at the numbers, I think it's one of the most important. I watch a lot of clips on like my Instagram explore page, and what comes up a lot is I'll see like clips of them talking about the numbers between like having a father figure and not having a father figure as far as success rate goes. And it's just like you're gonna get worse grades if you don't have a father. You're more likely to go to prison. You're less likely to go to college, and it's just, I think it's super important.
Yeah. You're familiar with Bedros Keuilian? He's got he's an outstanding guy. Does a lot of stuff with fighters too.
Yeah.
He had a quote I really liked. Said, women raise babies into young men. Men raise young men into other men. And that's well said. There's a lot of truth to that. I think that, and I think it's why, so oftentimes, I think that's why it was created that way. A father and a mother will help rear children because you need your mom, especially younger. I mean, for me, I was like younger. Our dad was kind of an intimidating figure, so it was much easier to get comfort from mom.
Yeah.
But then as you get older, once you reach adolescence, 12, 13, 14, right around that age where you start kind of thinking you can make your decisions for yourself, that's when, for us and for me, especially being the most difficult of all my siblings, having a very stern father to, create that sandpaper in your life where you're like, oh, you think you're going to do, no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do, I know you think you're going to do it. You're not going to.
Yeah.
And that to me, I mean, I would have done a heck of a lot worse than just sell weed, man.
Yeah.
If I hadn't had him, it would have been real tough. So you say you're coaching now and you're fighting. Are you now still doing both of those simultaneously?
No. I had to ditch the coaching when the invention kind of came about.
Yeah, let's talk about that, man. So Monkey Feet. Monkey Feet is kind of why we're here, which is so cool. I mean, it's so great to actually make this connection over like a product that hit the market, and it's a perfect example. to give you background, our father's an entrepreneur and an inventor. Growing up with somebody who we've been around that kind of person, that kind of creativity, that mind, which, you know, transferred down a little bit to us. And it's really, really cool. Yeah. But having that exposure, I love the inventors of the world. I love the people who actually chase after something, kind of even something small like gizmo or gadget. How did you even come up with this? I mean, where did this come from?
That's a great question, man. I've actually been telling people I was gonna invent like $1 million idea since I was like 16. I even
to which everybody was like, yeah, sure, right. Yeah.
Oh my God, the naysayers, man. I got this tattoo of a light bulb behind my ear. My buddy came over and he's like, yeah, I heard about this thing called manifestation, and basically like the more you talk about things and the more you see them, the more likely they are to become true. Like that's how he explained it to me, and I'm like, yeah. So I got a tattoo of a dollar sign on my finger, and I got a light bulb tattoo, and I was like, I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna like invent something, and I'm gonna, you know, be a millionaire and all this stuff. And everybody would always laugh at me.
Of course,
like,
yeah.
Shut up with your stupid light bulb tattoo. But I would never tell anybody. I would always be like sketching, drawing, and, you know, trying to think of new things to invent, like how I can make things better. And have you guys done magic mushrooms before?
How many times? I can feel your gaze. Okay, let me give you some backstory. We're going to talk about this. We have now had, Eli, how many guests have brought up psychedelics in the last 12 episodes? At least half.
More than half.
To the point where literally we finished an episode. This was, I think, maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago. And he pulls me aside and he goes, okay, look, I know this isn't your fault because you're not always the one bringing it up, but it seems like everybody we bring on is talking about psychedelics. And I'm like, yeah, there's a reason for that. I mean, I love them. I love mushrooms. Yes, I've done I in my head, just talking about visualization and manifestation together. For me, those two coincide. I can see a project before it's done. I can visualize what I want to create long before it's ever actually been put into reality. And the influence of those kinds of things helps me see that in a much, much more vivid scape. But please continue. Okay, so yes, continue. Magic. So how is this similar for you?
Yes, exactly. And literally the day before the whole monkey feet invention idea
Love
came.
the name, by the way.
Yeah.
Love the name.
Yeah. You can thank my partner for
It's
that one.
great.
Yeah. Literally, I had done like a big dose of mushrooms the day before, and I use them like a medicine, right? I always take mushrooms. I'll go out with my dog on a hike. I bring my notebook, and I'll just kind of sketch things out. Mm-hmm. That next morning, I go to the gym, and it was packed. You guys know gym rushes, like the gym by my house.
Yeah.
In the morning would be crazy.
Mornings and after work type of thing.
Yeah. And all the squat racks were taken, all the machines were taken. I just wanted to hit legs, so I'm sitting there doing like squats with the dumbbells, lunges with the dumbbells. And I don't know if you guys have ever done this before, but like in between sets, I would always stick my foot in between where the handle goes on the ground and roll the dumbbell around with my foot. Have you guys ever done that?
I'm failing to kind of see it. You mean like the dumbbells on the ground?
Yeah, the dumbbells on the ground, and I have ADD, so I was.
So you just kind of roll it with your foot.
Yeah.
Okay, not like an exercise, just kind of. Yeah, I get
it. Yeah. And I'm just rolling around with my foot, and I was looking at the hamstring curl machine. I was like, man, I wish I could just like strap this thing to my foot right now and do my hamstring curls. I had just torn my ACL a few months before, and I'm like trying to rehab my hamstrings.
Sure.
And that's when the light bulb came on, man. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to create something like this. First thing I do is start looking for engineers. And that's how I met my partner.
Yeah. And your partner is an engineer.
He's an engineer, a great engineer.
That's awesome. So you told him your idea, you showed him your drawings, you said, okay, here's what I want this thing to do. And for those, can you pull up a video of someone using that, but the Animalhouse Fit? It's so much more than just hip flexors, which, by the way, that to me was the very first thing that attracted me to it. I saw it on Rogan, as I'm sure everybody else did.
Yeah.
It fills a gap in the market because there really aren't that many. That's great. That's very cool. A little single leg RDL. Yeah. The hip flexor movement is really hard to emulate. That's really, really hard to do. Like you could, up until your invention came out, what I would do is just put my foot through a kettlebell. And that was really it. That was the only way that I could ever get away. And then it would dig into your foot. And if you get strong, you need a heavier kettlebell. And then it hurts your foot even more.
Yep.
So This fills an incredible gap for that market, but as you can see from this video, it's obviously a lot more than this. You can do leg extension, you can do hamstring curls. There's a ton of potential with this. Did you specifically design it for hip flexors, or did you see it for more so for all the movements that all these people are doing?
A little bit of everything. I envisioned the main things: hip flexors, hamstrings, and quads. That's like all I was thinking. You know?
Yeah, pretty much all the undertrained muscle groups.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's such an incredibly small and efficient product. You can ship it anywhere. You can manufacture it, I'm assuming, for relatively cheap.
Yeah.
It's a very, very smart invention. So tell me about the business side of things. How did it take off day one? Did it take a little bit of time? I mean, what happened?
Man, it took us like 2 years or so just to get it to market. So like you said, after bringing the drawings to my partner, first thing he did was make fun of me for the drawing.
Of course.
Yeah, such an asshole.
Boy, that's the difference between engineers and visionaries, man. Engineers are like, what is that? This makes no sense to me. And then no, come with me. Just listen to me.
Just take a bunch of mushrooms.
Yeah. It's the best partnership because I'm always just bouncing ideas off him, and he just lets me know this will work, this won't work, this will work, this won't work. And he knows the inside and outs of manufacturing. So he's like, this is manufacturable, this isn't manufacturable, which is huge. I didn't realize how much goes into it. And he's like so organized because he's been a part of so many big companies. You know what I mean? So
manufacturing is one of the biggest. I'm learning from, and we haven't actually manufactured a product yet. I mean, maybe one day, who knows? But from a lot of companies and a lot of CEOs and CFOs that I know are in the manufacturing game, if it goes wrong on that side of things, your company will die. Just yesterday, are you familiar with BAMF hammers? BAMF? Those big rubber mallet hammers?
Yep.
You seen those things?
Yeah.
Do you know what he apparently, his manufacturing guy like shut down their plant like yesterday or something. He did some big post. It sucks because this guy's had a rough go of it. Like he had his version 1.0. Then he was making them out of his house. His house burned down.
Yo,
dude,
he's a really lucky guy, sounds like.
And then he kicked it back up, got 2.0, and now his manufacturing plant shut down. So that's tough. If you can't master that side of things, even if you get your product to market, because his product has been on the market. Like Rogan's talked about him. He's been like but if you don't have the manufacturing down, you're dead. You're gonna die.
I didn't even know about what you just said. I didn't see his post.
Yeah, he just posted it like yesterday.
That's horrible.
It sucks, man. Big shout out to him. If you guys can, maybe support him in some way, I would. But we have all his products already.
Yeah, seriously, bro. If you're listening, minor setback for a major comeback, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah,
you got this shit.
Yeah, seriously, Sean, you got it, man. Keep going, man. Don't give up. So, all right. So you go 2 years to bring this to market. And then you launch. Now you're in the market. What happens next?
Yeah, so just getting the money for it, to be honest, was hard too. I shout out to my buddy Safi and his cousin Haroon. I kind of presented them the idea once me and my partner had a working model. He's like, yeah, we have a manufacturer already that I think would be down to do it. So me and my partner, we fly to the manufacturer, present it to him.
Is it in the States or is it?
We tried in the States, but
it's not China.
Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah, it's
everything.
too expensive, bro. We just couldn't do it because obviously I don't come from like a bunch of money, know.
Everybody, you have to go. Which I hate. But you have to go through China. I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we do everything else over here, and just once we got the product and everything was ready, like I'm like, all right, let's get it. And my partner, he's very more mature than I am as far as like the business sense goes, and he's like, no, we have to make sure we do everything right. So we prepared a bunch of good ads. We got with
it's him.
Yeah, we got with shout out Kinship. We got with a really good marketing team who is like a buddy of my partner's, and we just got everything ready. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Shopify, but like,
heck yeah, yeah, we are.
Yeah, when you first get your Shopify app on your phone or whatever, the notifications like automatically like rings you whenever you get a sale. And man, like the first week, I ended up getting tired of it because like this thing blew so quick. Like I remember the first like week we did a couple thousand in sales just from like friends and family support. And
yeah.
all of that, followers on Instagram and stuff. And then once those ads started kicking, getting those low-hanging fruits, whew, that thing was dinging. Ding, 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 ding. I'm all right, shut up. Yeah.
That's great, man. It's so important to realize that what you make, especially in this industry, you don't have to make a machine or a giant, a big one-size-fit-all anything. Especially right now with all the home gym training, it doesn't have to be the tonal. You can make something that fits this is a niche part of the market. This is a very, very small group of movements this thing can do, but it does it so well. That's why it has the popularity that it does. And that's just outstanding. I love that. So when did you start to see, because it seems like this is really taken off, especially in the fighting community. I've seen a lot of professional fighters using this on their page and stuff.
For sure.
Was your time as a professional fighter, did that help you segue into that circle, or were you already in that circle, or how did that happen?
I think it could have. I've had a lot of buddies, I've made a lot of friends. I've trained at a lot of gyms, and I think that did help. But I think what also helps is the whole reason that I think I thought of this is, as a fighter, especially MMA fighters and kickboxers, you put your joints through so much, and just like having a free weight that you're inviting all these stability muscles to join the party. You know what I mean? Instead of just the machine where you're on the hamstring curl machine, you're not recruiting all those extra muscles for stability. And I think it really helps with recovery and just avoiding injuries in general. So I think that's why it's taken off with them so much, because I mean, fighters are injury prone more than I think any other sport.
Oh yeah. Because if you think about it, dumbbells must, with the exception of perhaps one exercise that I can think of, which is a lying hamstring curl where you take your feet and put it under the dumbbell together.
Yep.
I can't think of a single other dumbbell exercise where your feet can be involved without monkey feet.
Yep.
And that's a real shame, because that means you're left with barbell loaded exercises, which typically mean multi-joint, which means it's no knock on multi-joint movements. They're important. But if you're trying to hit hip flexors only, or hamstrings only, or anything only, you're going to have a hard time doing that with dumbbells if it's lower body emphasis until now.
Yep.
Now, this tiny little skateboard boot allows you to take a dumbbell of any size. Did I see it right? Did you just launch dumbbells to go with it? Like you have your own dumbbells?
Yep.
Those are sick. I got to get you to send us a pair of those.
For sure.
Those are cool
Absolutely.
looking, man. And that's a smart implementation. Again, it's something small. What are they? How big are they, the dumbbells? 10 and 15 or what are they?
Yeah. We have the numbers like
there we go.
Perfect.
5, 7, because again, this is not usually I suppose you could do leg extension with some heavy hitters, but you're not putting 50 pounders on this. It's not that type of a exercise. It's not.
Yep.
So that's a really, really smart little, are those the two? Now I apologize for asking this. Are those the two products that you have for this company, or are there many others? You've got monkey feet and you've got your dumbbells.
Yeah.
Is that kind of it?
Yeah, right now, that's all we got, and then we got some other stuff coming down the line. I mean,
nice.
Yeah, our whole mission, our company mission, is just to innovate and make the gym better, man. And I can see just from being over here that you guys are super into innovation too, and are all about it. So it's exciting. I think our generation in general is just coming up with so many neat things and cool ideas just constantly, that I'm excited for what the future holds.
Yeah, there's some really smart people around us in this industry, man. It's very fun.
Yeah.
And it's very fun for us. I mean, two things. What I love that we're not attached or sponsored. Well, we are sponsored, but we are not attached to any one equipment manufacturer of any kind. And our company has found this very weird niche where we get to get all the new and exciting and cool stuff, because I'm a nerd for that. I'm a comic book nerd, I'm a science nerd, and I'm an equipment nerd. So if there's new stuff like that comes out, I'll just be like, I gotta I need it. It's like, he gives me some. I haven't needed anything in a very, very, very long time. But I have this desire to want things.
Yeah.
And so it's great seeing all this innovation happen all around us, and getting to have these kinds of conversations with people that make it. That's the other cool thing.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of times people don't really get that. And again, this story like yours, story like Sean's, every single one of these little gadgets that comes to market, and maybe it sells 5 million units, maybe it sells 500, but every single one of those has a story behind it, and someone who actually took a chance and actually made something and did something. That's very, very rare. There's not a lot of people that do that because there's a lot of risk involved with that.
Yeah. I love risk though. My whole life's been a risk.
Me too. On the topic of risk, and again, this is just because of the background that our father had a patent pending and all that stuff with the self. How did that process go for you? I mean, obviously you've patented this, right?
Yeah, fully
Good.
patented. Utility too, and you guys are familiar with the difference between utility and design patents?
Are you? Yeah. I'm gray on it. I've heard it, but I'm not. What is it? Break it down for me.
Basically, a utility will cover a stronger patent. It's considered a stronger patent because a utility patent covers the use of the device, when a design patent just covers the design of the device. So somebody could just be like, well, I changed, these two bolts and I added a curve. So your patent doesn't
Go ahead.
So my question, and I'm not trying to be that guy, but I mean, China specifically has been known to not abide by those patents. And the fact that you're manufacturing it there, are you worried at all that they'll just take it and 50 other companies in China will offer a very similar product?
Sell it on Alibaba and just rip you out of the market?
That's a great question. Luckily, we have a really good relationship with these guys. I mean, the investor, my buddy's cousin Haroon, shout out Haroon, he's had a relationship with these guys for a long time, and he kind of built them up. Like, he's a hustler. He started selling things at the San Jose flea market kind of thing, and like now he makes, I don't want to say how much he makes, but he makes a lot of money. And he got this one manufacturer up there with him, and he kind of is the reason for their growth. So I don't think they would ever do that. But
you hope there's no, and the tricky part about just the Chinese thing in general is that if it happens, you don't have all that much recourse. I mean, if someone rips it and makes it, because it's not, I mean, with a working model that they can now just buy and take to another person, all right, make this.
Yep.
There's not a lot you could do over there. Am I right on that? I mean, there is no legal recourse overseas for a Chinese rip off of your product. I've seen them all over the place.
We've had people try in the States over here. I don't want to get into the weeds too much on that.
Say,
but like,
give Titan Fitness a little bit of time, man. They'll come out with something.
Yeah.
How are you going to deal with that? Because that is going to, I mean, it's already happened. Have you already seen knockoffs?
Yeah, there's ones that people are trying to do with like ropes and stuff. But if you look at the reviews, people are like, this thing just breaks after like 2 uses. I mean, we put a lot of time into developing, but what we've heard is we've heard certain people go into manufacturers that like we've already talked to. And, you hear through the grapevine of people literally bringing our product and being like, can you make this for this amount of money? Like, we want to make our own type of thing. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
They're not even trying to hide it. They're literally just bringing it to people.
And even, first of all, I mentioned the China thing just because you were building it there. Even if you were building in the States, it's very easy for them to see something that's successful, take it, remanufacture it, and then put it on the market. I mean, look at what Amazon does with Amazon Basics. I mean, any type of product that they come out, they'll create their own and put it to the top. I mean, it's every Titan is doing it. It's terrible. But
what are you going to do? Sue us? Fine. You have any idea how much money we have? We're Amazon.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even have to be Amazon. I mean, in this industry specifically. I mean, look, I'm not calling out either one of these because I don't really know who came first. You got Donnie Thompson fat bells. You got Soren X center mass bells. You got, it's everybody. There's people ripping people in this industry. And of course, everyone claims, no, I came first. No, I came first. No, and there's a lot of salt in the industry too. Some of these guys, I just saw Don. I'll only mention this because he made it public. Donnie put up a post where this was kind of, did you see this? Doesn't matter. He put up a post where he listed 5 people that he thinks are fake in the industry, followed by 5 people that he considers to be real. And this was right. You want to talk about controversy?
What a controversial.
Is this recent?
Yeah.
Okay.
He put. If you go to Donnie Thompson, fatter pillar, he put Mark Bell in the list of fake people.
Yo, no, not Mark.
That's serious.
Oh, no.
And I asked him because I've got a decent. Oh, is he private?
Yeah,
he is private. Yeah. And I asked him because I made a comment. I talked to Donnie. I've had a few conversations with him just over social media, but I'm like, I mean, what happened? I mean, because I went on Power Project. I had a good relationship with Mark. Seems like a nice guy from what I've.
Super nice.
But have you gone on yet? Power Project?
No, but I just hear so many good things.
You should. It's a good experience. He's a shout out to Mark. I've had good experiences with Mark, but apparently Donnie has not. Apparently they had some kind of a beef over a piece of equipment that may or may not have been made, and I don't know any details. But the point I'm making is that
Let's get that fight
There's
contract
a-
going, man. We can manage it. Let's go.
Well, in all honesty, it'd be kind of awesome because they're both old OGs. Like
Yeah,
both
let's
of
do
them,
it. Let's
both
do
of them were like, I think they were both West Side. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Donnie, if you weren't, but I'm pretty sure they were both West Side
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
But they don't like each other.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Let's get
Yeah.
that fight contract going.
Oh man, I've for so long because it's such low hanging fruit for the content. I want to get like Ben Patrick versus Joel Seedman. I'd like to get Mark Bell versus Donnie. Like get them in
Yo,
here, have them
dude.
talk it out in here, and
Yeah.
I'll just moderate. That's all I want to do. I just want to hear it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It would be. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm shouting. But
You're
yeah. It's a tough industry to protect your shit in because people will definitely take it.
And with that being said, I do think there is good competition. In
Agreed.
general, I think competition, if only, brings more value to you, especially if they are marketing
Always?
it.
Tell
I
that
mean,
to the
unless
rest
they,
of America, man.
well, if they create a better product, then you
I
have
was gonna
to.
say if Rogue were to steal his shit and start pushing it, that probably wouldn't help him. That
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
help, and that would be tough because that'd be a
Shout out Rogue. They actually sell our product on their page.
That's sick.
Yeah. We hold
That was by no means a dig. I've heard actually really
Yeah,
good things about
they're
it.
sick.
I've never heard of Rogue really doing that. Like
no, they're
coming
great.
under controversy. I think
They're
they've got a really good. Well, first off, I think they got a really good legal team where they
Yeah.
tell them no, don't do that. It's
Yeah.
not a good. It's just not a good idea. It's never worth it. That's the other thing you'll realize. From someone who's an outside third party who has never had any stake in the game with an invention or a piece of exercise equipment being made, it's never worth it to take someone's product into a manufacturer and say, hey, can you please replicate this and just make a little tweak and I'm gonna try to sell it and beat them. You're just not gonna, at least from someone like me who fields all sides of the team. I get everyone's products in here. It doesn't look good if you are making, even if you're being successful, if you're making a cheaper version of someone else's thing, it's not going to look good to somebody like me.
Facts.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I see what both of you guys are saying though, because like the way people go about it and like steal other people's thing, or like when big Amazon picks on the little guy, they're obviously going to win that competition. But then I love competition as well, and I think that's what made America so great. But then this might be a little controversial, but I hate the whole participation trophy thing. Like even they have it in boxing now, and I'd tell my amateur boxers straight up, I'd be like, yo, if it were me, I would throw that thing in the garbage. Like, I didn't have a lot of losers. Most of my guys would win, but like, if you're gonna give me a medal for losing, I don't want it.
Oh yeah, I don't remember which boxing it was a long time ago. The guy took it, I think it was professional boxing. It might have been an Olympic event because he got silver. And he was so mad that when they went to raise his hand, he took it off and he threw it to the crowd.
Oh, okay, that's pretty gnarly. Like, bro, you just got an Olympic silver medal.
He was furious. He didn't want it. He wanted the gold. But I 100% agree with that. I don't think that
Second place ain't that bad.
Yeah,
it's not that bad,
man. It is the Olympics.
Yeah,
You got second. That's pretty darn good. But I do think that while that's an extreme example, it is a bit of a poor example to set, especially for young amateurs. I mean, if you're 17, 18, 19 and you're just getting into it and they're giving you something for not winning, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It doesn't really translate well to, business either.
Yeah. Or life in general, man. Like, you're going to lose, but that's that feeling. You got to take that feeling and use it.
And I mean, think about this. A lot of times in life, when you lose, you don't just not get a trophy. You lose your nut.
Everything.
You lose your investment. You lose your, if you're Bam Hammer, you lost your house. Like sometimes you lose a lot more than you started with. If you've gotten a participation trophy your entire time just for breaking even,
That's going to break you.
that's going to destroy you when you actually lose.
Facts.
I remember the first time that I ever experienced like real loss, like in a competition setting. Now it was a soccer game in high school, but I remember that feeling. I remember the very first time where we played good, but we lost. We lost and it was close and it was bad, but I remember that feeling to this day. And I experienced it young. Experienced it in, 7th grade. If I didn't experience that till I was 27 and I'd been given a participation medal my whole life, that would suck if you got to where you're actually like in a business venture and then you lost for the first time.
Yeah.
That'd be tough.
Yeah, I don't think it prepares you for life at all.
Yeah. No, I don't think it does either. Speaking of being prepared for life, what do you see the biggest overall, how do I phrase this? What do you see the biggest overall life lessons being taught as a professional athlete, as a professional fighter in general, in your experience? Because you're at this place where a lot of people will never get to. You've got a lot of people coming up beneath you that want to get to that spot. We'll take just in the scope of even business, what has being a professional fighter helped as a professional in a business setting?
Yeah, that's a great question. I honestly, this is probably going to sound crazy too, but because of fighting, I feel like everything else in life is just easy. Not, I don't want to say easy, but like basically taking that first step to do anything. Like when you get that adrenaline rush before you step into an octagon, a cage, a ring, whatever, like, you know, this guy across from you has been training to beat the living shit out of you. And that it's such a hard thing just to even step in there, man. And because of that, I feel like starting a business, you know, going something as simple and going up and talking to a girl that I think is cute has become easier in life because of it. I think it just helps with your confidence, really.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think going off of that, it's kind of the same comparison when you have those free climbers that will climb those crazy buildings, and their adrenaline and their like everything else becomes so much more tame. Everything is down here, but when you're walking into that octagon, you're here, which makes life just so much easier as you progress, right?
Yeah, adversity, man.
Man, for me personally, get me in the ring against like Chuck Liddell in his prime put me up on the side of that mountain with no ropes. Have you seen those guys?
That's insane.
That's insane. That's actually, and here's the thing, they're actually insane. They did a scan of that one guy's brain. You know, the free solo guy.
Yeah.
Can you pull up his name? The documentary is called Free Solo. He soloed El Cap. Yeah. That big face in Yosemite.
Even the way he talks is like, bro, something's wrong with you.
Something's wrong with you, man. Like, you don't have a level 10. You just go up to level 6.
Yeah.
And what they said was that they abuse. Now I think it's the pituitary gland. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Whatever the part of the brain is that is. Yes. What's his name? Alex Honnold. Honnold.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah. He's a free solo. Look at him. No ropes. Side of that thing. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
But they don't experience fear. Those guys, they actually scan their brain, and him particularly, they're like, oh yeah, you don't have the part of your brain that actually, you don't give off that chemical anymore. You feel like nothing really excites you. You just kind of, you don't reach 10.
I feel like psychopaths are like that as well. I mean, I love psychology. It's so interesting. I'm pretty sure psychopaths have that same thing wrong with them.
Similar, very similar.
Yeah.
It's I believe I'm sure a clinical psychologist would dissect this argument. But I think it is similar. That part of their brain just does not fire the way you and I would. I mean, you transport me up there, I would freak out. But it's funny the way you phrase, you know, it reminds me of course you've seen Fight Club.
Yes.
It's almost to a T what you just said. When Tyler Durden, what he says, he goes, after fighting, all the rest of our lives had the volume turned down.
Yo.
That's kind of how it is, right?
That's a great quote.
Yeah. Because it prepares you for a sense of adversity that a lot of us don't ever get. And I mean, I wrestled in high school, but that's as far as I ever took it. Getting to a place where you're a man and he's a grown-ass man, and both of us have trained for a year, and we're about to go in here and our goal is to basically kill one another.
Yeah.
That's not something a lot of people experience.
Wrestling. If you guys are, whoever's listening to this, get your kids into wrestling, because some of the mentally strongest people I've ever met in life were wrestlers. Like even just high school. My partner and our marketing director both wrestled, and I feel like everybody I meet that has wrestled has that kind of swagger about them.
It seems like a common thread throughout a lot of martial arts. Speaking about the instructor that I remember I had when I was wrestling, they teach a lot of like internal discipline. They teach a lot of mental fortitude, both on and off the mat, but especially on the mat. They teach you to, you know, stay calm. You never panic. If you feel like you're in a situation, think of it much more like chess than you think about it like free soloing El Cap. Like you need to be able to calm yourself and get out of situations the way you would if you were staring at a chessboard. And that, I think, again, that is one other thing that does translate to real life. I love the lessons that are taught in all of sports, but especially in martial arts, where you are very self-reliant.
Yep.
I think that also translates specifically into business, because you've got business partners, so do I. But in the beginning, if you're somebody who wants to create something, truly create something from the ground up, usually you're kind of alone in that. You're
Yep.
usually by yourself in the beginning.
Yeah.
But you also have the knowledge to obviously expand your team and bring it on at the right time.
Yeah. That's actually something my investor Haroon, he's all funny. He basically said that one of the most important things is just to not be greedy in business and just share the pie, because it's going to make a bigger pie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
But
yeah.
the more greedy you are, you're going to keep that pie small.
Yeah. You and I've personally, literally, with the expansion of what we've done with the PT room, with the yoga studio, you know, when it's time to sit down, and this is really an important pivotal moment for any entrepreneur, when it comes time to sit down and you're talking team expansion and you're bringing in new people, whether they're 1099 employees, partners, whatever they are, there's always the conversation that's either had internally in your head or with them or with your existing partners about them. And that's, what do we do as far as dicing up the pie? Yeah. How do we do this? Because I obviously have to make enough to make this worth my time, but they have to make it worth their while to either be kind of motivated, really motivated, or excited to be a part of the team. I like to dice the pie up to where I know the person is excited. Yeah. And how do you know if that's happening? Ask them.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm going to give you, 50% of every single, how does that make you feel? Are you serious? Like, you'll see it in them, especially if it's somebody who is starting off, who wants to become independently successful. You will see it in their eyes if they are actually excited about the possibility of working with you.
Absolutely.
You'll be able to tell very quickly. And that's important. I think it's really important, just to what you said, to make sure that the people that you work with are excited to work with you, and they want to know that there's enough left in the pie and that you're going to divvy up the pie even more than equally in their favor.
Yeah, seriously. And I feel like it always comes back to bite you. Even like, I don't ever want to be known as the guy that's greedy or does people wrong. I want to be known as the guy that's taking care of everybody, creating jobs for everybody. Yeah. Being a nice guy.
Especially the higher you go up.
Yeah.
And you'll realize that too. And I've realized that. And I've run into people that, the more you climb this ladder, and you and I are both in the same industry, we're going to run into the same people. We're going to have conversations around this table with more people who are going to know you and are going to know me. And the higher we go, the more those numbers are going to climb. And I've met people who I would never talk to again if I saw them. If they were drowning, I'd throw them a brick. Like, there are people that I've met in this industry that fit that category. Yeah. And I've also met some of the most incredible people that I've ever, brilliant people in and out of this industry. Yep. But the point is, the higher you go and the more these relationships start to stack up and the more your name gets out. I mean, you got a big shout out from Joe Rogan. Have you actually talked with him? Has he ever? Yeah.
In the DMs. And he is, man, I know that guy has to be, because I know how busy I am in my life. I can't imagine how busy Joe Rogan is in his life. And just him taking the time to, message us back is like crazy. He's the sweetest guy. I'm a giant Joe Rogan fan.
Me too.
You want to know what's crazy about the whole, I know the manifestation thing gets a little bit blown out of proportion, but
not if there's mushrooms.
Yeah. When me and my buddy were developing this thing, I kept saying, I was like, Joe Rogan's gonna be talking about this thing. I kept telling him, I was like, I know that he is gonna like this, and I know he's gonna eventually talk about it. I just kept telling my partner, like, it's gonna happen, just watch. And it happened. Like, it's organically too. It's not like we didn't pay Joe anything. He just liked the product and used it.
I was wondering about that. Did you send him like a copy? Like, here's something in the mail just so or did he just find you on the internet?
Yeah, he just bought it or whatever.
He just found it on Instagram, bought it, and liked it.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's what every entrepreneur hopes. That'll just happen. Of course, it doesn't happen. I mean, there's I know we've had tons of people in here, like Hostage Tape. Their CEO came in. Have you ever tried that, Hostage Tape?
I haven't.
Oh, dude, you'd love it. It's a great product. It's mouth breathing tape. It's specifically for your circadian rhythm while you sleep.
Oh, so sick for the mouth breathers.
Yeah.
All these mouth breathers.
I know, man. You ever done any research on that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. How are...
I'll give you some before you leave.
All right,
dude, Hostage Tape is sick.
Yeah.
It's a game changer for me. I will, because I don't know if this is like this for you, but I mean, if I go to sleep, I'll wake up in the night to pee at least once. Mm-hmm. I started doing Hostage Tape probably like 5-6 months ago. But I am telling you that if I woke up to pee 5 times in a week, I'm now doing it once. Like, I am sleeping until that alarm goes off the next day. It really is like that. It is shocking the difference. And you throw red light in with that, oh, you got the best evening. That's your evening routine from now on.
Hell yeah.
Get yourself a red light panel. Get yourself some hostage tape. Turn out your lights. Hang around the red light for 15 minutes. Go to bed. Tape your mouth. You'll sleep all night.
Hell yeah. I do the red light.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been so scared. Tell me if this is crazy. I've always been so scared to do any type of covering of the mouth because my nose is so broken. I can really only breathe through one side of it.
Yep.
But I should be fine, right? Even if that clock, I'll wake up and just like, oh.
You should be fine. Now here is what I'll say, and actually, ironically, Joe Rogan has talked about this because he had a really bad deviated septum from fighting.
Yeah.
If you have an anatomical blockage, like if your septum is truly deviated and you can't get air, then you may need to get that addressed before you start doing this. Like, truly. But other than that, unless you have that medically diagnosed by someone, even if you have, like I've done it with the flu. I've gone to sleep and taped my mouth when I'm congested from allergies.
And
I get bad allergies. We're meant to breathe through our nose. Right. We are designed as Homo sapiens to breathe through our nose. We de-evolved to breathe through our mouth.
Yeah.
Why that happened, I don't know. Who knows? Same reason people started changing their gender. But tape your mouth shut. I'm telling you, bro, you're going to sleep 10 times better. It's amazing. But that's a good example of a company. They're trying to get the same thing you did. I mean, they're trying to, because I know Joe would love that company. He would love that mouth taping company because he's talking about it all the time.
Yeah. And he had that scientist on, right? That was talking about
Huberman.
how,
Andrew Huberman. We're trying to get him on here as well.
Yeah.
He'd be a good guy to get in touch with.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, man. Well, dude, this has been super fun. Seriously, this was a great conversation.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm super happy you came on. If anybody wants to get in touch with you, or if they just want to buy monkey feet, where would you advise that they go?
Yeah, animalhousefitness.com is our website. Our Instagram is Animalhouse Fit. We've been trying to get in touch with the actual Animal House Fitness tag on Instagram, but it's no use. So we're just sticking with Animal House Fit.
Isn't Instagram impossible?
It's impossible.
You can't get shit out of that company.
No.
But
yeah.
It took us 2 years to finally get somebody to agree to because we had this big marketing problem. Like, we can't see our ads through Meta. Like, when our ads run, we can't see them. So we reached out to Meta for like 2 years. We had our reps reaching out to them. They finally agreed to call us. They called us. They didn't have the right account number for us, so they basically hung up. It's the worst. It's terror. It's a horribly mismanaged platform.
Meta, do better.
Come on, man. Meta. You got more money than God. Yeah. You can't answer the phone. You can't figure out our problems. We have real issues here.
Yeah.
Awesome, though, man. So they can go on there. That's how they get it?
Animalhousefitness.com. We got our little link tree up there and everything. Sweet. And then shameless plug on myself. I am a professional fighter. My Instagram's just Evan Gubera. My following is pretty terrible. I need to post more. But I just recently fought the number 12 guy in the country. Ended up going to a draw, broke my hand in the second round. I haven't even posted anything about it. I really need to get better.
So you took a draw. What happens now? I mean,
my rank still goes up. Actually, I think I was ranked like in the 50s in the country. Still undefeated technically. The TV announcer said I should have won. I believe I should have won as well. But yeah,
what weight do you fight at?
Cruiserweight. 200.
200, yeah.
So I fight with some big boys, man, and it was scary because this is the first time I've gotten a serious injury in a fight.
Yeah.
Like during a fight, I've gone into fights with other injuries, but yeah, I felt my hand break, and I still had to throw it just so the other guy wouldn't know it was broken, and that was super painful. A lot of fighters go through that though, but I felt like I had to go through a lot of adversity through that. Only really being able to use one hand against a very seasoned guy. He's had like 24 fights or something.
Yeah. Who was it? The name of the guy that you broke your hand on?
Man, I'm terrible with names. See, that's it, dude. Yeah, I swear to God, the funniest thing. I don't know how other fighters are, but I don't like looking them up at all. Like,
really?
Yeah.
You don't like to research them, or?
I truly believe that I'm the best, man. I don't think anybody's gonna beat me in professional boxing. I believe in myself so much, and my coach believes in me so much that I just tell him, I'll be like, put me in there with anybody. I'm here to fight. I'm here to become the champion of the world.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to follow that journey, follow my Instagram, Evan Gubera. I really think I'm gonna be the champ of the world. I'm only 29 years old, and and we're gonna do it, man. So I don't look up any opponent ever. I just go in there thinking that they're gonna be the hardest fight I've ever fought.
That's the
how I go
CEO
in.
mindset, man.
Yeah.
It's the biggest mountain I've ever climbed. Every single time I climb it, no matter what it is, I'm going to give my all.
Exactly.
That's really great, man. That's awesome. No, I'm excited to see what you do too. Evan, Gubera, just so you guys know, all one word. So that's the best place for the fighting, and then Animalhouse Fit is the best place for the product.
Hell yeah.
Awesome, bro.
And I'm excited if I could check out this facility one more time, man. This is crazy over here.
Yeah. We'll do the walkthrough. We'll get you in the pool. We'll do some stuff in the pool. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Sick. All right, buddy. We'll close it there.